inviting me and giving me the honour to speak here. I wanted to say a few words actually about the art before I start. I do a bit of like graphic design and stuff like that myself in Photoshop, and I don't think people appreciate how long things like this take. All of the vectors and all the shapes take a very long time, and on top of that, the quality is amazing. Okay. I've seen a lot of stuff online, but seeing it like in physical form is brilliant. It's amazing, mashallah. And also, like, I think people undermine the power of art when it comes to cultures, revolutions, and cultural developments in societies and stuff like that. If you look throughout history, many different civilizations and stuff, there's always been that sector which is kind of art, poetry, music as well. And the people who are like, the people in power, they know how strong art and music is. Of course, yeah. And paintings and stuff like that, forms of expression which are not necessarily academic or trying to intellectually shoot down whoever it is that is oppressing them, though your work does both. Just art in general expression, I think they know, but we don't appreciate how powerful it is. So yeah, I think that's just a little bit that I wanted to say about art. I'm gonna do two pieces. One is This Is For. It's quite old, so you don't forgive me. Like I don't know how. I'm gonna try to work through it and see how much of it I can remember. And then I'm gonna do the Malcolm X piece that I've been doing quite a bit recently. This is for the mother in Iraq seeing a soldier wave his peace sign in her face, but she acknowledges his comrades behind putting guns at her back. And this is for the pacifist who was once very good at doing that. And he believed we should all be pacifists until the abundance of oppression was exposed to him and the whole pacifist thing just went out the window, thrown off the throne. Like, where was he mad at it? Anarchist. And this is for the travellers, managing. Most of us complain of a trivial war and never battle it. Forget the rain in the days of sunshine and happiness, see. It's a long road to, and most spend their days of freedom looking back at it. Praying the rain don't return like Jesus and Nazareth will. So this is for those who really have it hard in the filthy part of the dark side of the slums in Somalia, Mombasa, for the rock slingers in the Holy Land. Long live the Intifada. This is for your heart, golden and marvellous. Mummy was a superhero, we don't know what Marvel is. Ain't no Spider-Man or Superman or any man to fight the villain. Yeah, we have Avengers, but most of them look like civilians. So our plight is vicious and cold. We try not to turn old in our young soul, shed a teardrop. Cause it's the epitome of human emotion, one of the small things that separate us from the robots. But hold on. Why you think they train their soldiers to close off their eyes to the pain and mortality? Every time he sees a mother cry, he can carry on more casually than the last time, like, sorry lady, I'm saving you from years of oppression and tyranny. Can you tell me why you're mad at me? And to them, God forbid. And that's whoever their God is. That one day in this modern day colonial conquest, Mr. Maggot might just realise that these are actually young kids. Humans with hearts actually pumping, but tears through their veins to their eyes that once did smile till he saw his father die, and that's one thing. But his brother, sister, friend, cousin, now he's hunting. Can you blame him? I salute him. With a teardrop in my eye, a black flag by my side. This is for the freedom fight. I'll fist in the sky, screaming it ain't over till I die. And you be damned if I survive. Guerrilla warfare, show me if they taught you to fight in the silence of the night. As your enemy communicates with birds in the sky. Jaguar pool, I roll with black panthers that ride through the jungle and show you the violence you love to bring out in a warrior. Take out the lot of ya. My leaders stand on the front lines. Your leaders don't leave home without bodyguards. They just kill with their speech, letters, and orders. But of course, make yourself look civilized. I'm the one that isn't blind, led by the single-eyed into darkness. The red paint on the frame will be erased, though it's all over my armor. You gave us these borders and sent us your army, so when we say hands off, believe we are not asking. The black flags will be raised on the decks of your masters, and I pray to my Lord I died the death of a martyr. Yeah, that was This Is For. That was This Is For, and as you keep me in the Malcolm X thing, I'm going to do the Malcolm X piece. It's called By Any Means Necessary. This post was featured on Huffington Post, and I said to you guys check it out, check the article, and especially the comments, because the amount of funny comments on there that are calling me and the piece racist, it's actually quite funny. Like the amount that people are now resorting to this idea of reverse racism. You call out white supremacy, and that makes you a reverse racist. And obviously Malcolm X spoke about things like this a lot, especially coming towards the end of his life. I was just reading a lecture that he did the other day. It was like 14th February, which was like 7 days before he died. And this is when he came back from Africa and the Middle East and stuff like that. He was also talking about this idea that like people are calling him racist in reverse because of his views on violent resistance and stuff like that. So anyway, this is a piece called By Any Means Necessary. Times have changed. Let me rewind to the days not so long ago as you may think that our people were enslaved. And I can bet that you just visualize the black and white image with a ship full of Africans in chains, but it's not always that is the case. I could have been speaking of today. Though we'll come back to that. For now, let's go to that place where a long-lived nightmare was a reality we like to ignore. Where the black man was an asset to the white and nothing higher or more. With a past and a back full of gore, 300 years of a Holocaust. And this is a time for you to cry and mourn. This is the time we bring the people to life like the sky when it's dawn. Because it was exactly sympathy that the Mau were fighting for. They fought so they can reclaim the humanity that was taken from them. How can you call men violent animals after instilling your hatred in them? Put them in cages explaining that they are lower forms of the Homo sapien. So justified your oppressive relations to them with the thought that the whiter the skin, the higher the status of men. So now we hate to be reminded of our blackness every time we take a look at our faces again. Being lighter is nicer. It's a thing we seem to accept. But again, I seem to be skipping ahead. And times have changed. We can go further back to the times of Garvey, or a little less to the rise of the Black Panther Party, but let's flip the page. And go back to when Malcolm and Martin tried to make us see that your dark skin was a beautiful gene before racism was paintbrushed under the carpet. So it was after a long period that the youth were asleep, that Martin had a vision, and of course it was a beautiful dream. But Malcolm reminded us that if you have to, then you must shoot to be free. And they call that crude and extreme. But let me enter the mind state of an ex-slave after the trade was abolished. A sign that says no niggers or dogs are a thing very usual to see. I would love to sit here and listen to you explain what the Constitution reads, but words are just words. I demand that you prove them to me. Because the wife had my language, culture, history, name, religion removed from me. Love is the best thing that you looted from me. That was my grandfather that saw his wife and children executed at sea, imagine that. So calling the rage of the oppressed irrational, this sounds a little too deluded to me. For how can they expect colourful fruits and leaves once they've already damaged the roots of the tree? So Malcolm wanted you to perceive that your mind is your greatest weapon, and you have the pistol aimed at the chains of your cuffs, so you must shoot to be free. But have times changed? And listen attentively to what I'm about to say. What you see on the surface may have a new face, but deep down underneath the sugar coating, the bitter taste of reality is still the same. We give our freedom fighters black and brown figures that inspired an uprising and illustrious status in our time. But in our time, nobody wants to actually discuss race. And when we do it, we challenge those racial perceptions hidden away. They say that we segregate. And our claims cause distasteful discrepancies. If we were to say that history and the foundations of capitalism have left such a legacy that every single one of us still suffers from white supremacy. And that's an uncomfortable term, isn't it? It all gets a bit uncomfortable when we start to discuss white privilege. And don't get it twisted, my comparatively lighter skin tone means I also acknowledge my privilege. Like I'm somehow less animalistic than those darker than me, and partly it comes with the idea that the whiter the skin, the more morally supreme. So I just want you to open your subconscious and question what you really believe. How else can we really be free? And why am I more likely to go inside? Is it that the Jew would be more inclined to look for my good intent and innocence if I was white? And I have to be taught through punishment because I'm not so civilized. See, I can empathize with being more able to relate to your own. You can argue, it's only natural, I know. It's just certain views many members of the population hold. You think immigrated should go. Ignorance has clearly taken a hold, and you forget the oppressive ways this nation had grown. Who were enslaved and taken from home? And whose government has always sent troops to take control of a foreign land? Junior borders set its own rules whilst taking a gold. You call that the victim card, I call speaking the truth the ruins where the resistance sparks. Cause we fought wars in our minds before they lit up the dark. Before our ideas exploded and shrapnel split us in half. Man down, I took a hit to the heart. They were shooting at me, I tried to shoot to be free. Man down, I need a lift to Allah. Cause times ain't changed. Hear it from an African Asian Muslim, trust me I can relate. I could have been just another kid from the estate. Slave to the system and still with hate, and we tried our hardest not to be filled with pain though. Certain teachers couldn't see past race. Then most police couldn't see past the criminal they subconsciously see in our face. And that cycle of discrimination could have been the reason half of my friends didn't see past grades. The only way out they could see was money from the C-class grade. And my talkers only talk when I tried to say that we are great. And it hurts that I failed most times. They were good-hearted, so I hope they never change inside. Cause I knew Allah had the key to the jail in our minds. But social conditioning had them destined to fail in their eyes. The history teacher should never take the blame for their crimes or the way his story told our tale isn't right. Columbus was a power-hungry conqueror who tried to wipe out the native tribes, but still it's like they celebrate his life. So where's the change in times? The United States claim to be humanitarians of the greatest type, but they go to our lines and they take what they like. We got a Black Hawk down with a snake inside. And kids playing on sight. Still I owe the world to the teachers that gave me their time. And to my parents for showing me the way to the light. That I will be a slave to none but he who created I. Everybody has their own story and that's a taste of mine. I believe we can find peace and fight for it at the same time. So in the name of every struggle ever faced in our lives, by any means necessary, we will race to our freedom in these racist times. Thank you very much.